Next up, we have Seema Rao. Seema is the Deputy Director and Chief Experience Officer at the Akron Art Museum, and she's also the incoming Vice President of MCN. She's been connected with this community for a really long time. This is her second MCN Ignite as well. She last presented in 2017. So really excited to have you here, Seema. I want to say so much more because I'm just so excited that you're here. But why don't you go ahead and take it away?
This talk starts with a pretest. Put your hands up. Answer the following questions with a yes or a no. Put your hands down, fingers down for each yes. Do some people in your organization claim to have a special corner on the truth? Are you told not to question leadership? Do people speak dismissively about those who aren't inside your organization? Are finances transparent? Are there special requirements to get ahead? If you answered yes to most of these questions, you might have a problem. These are the same questions they ask people who might be in a harmful group or cult. There were a few months this year where I thought, I can't handle one more scathing museum article about someone I know in the New York Times. I ached for my friends. I ached for my field, and I felt impotent and lost. I got into museum work because I loved art. I loved the ideas around art, and I loved sharing those ideas. I figured everyone here has the same plan. They're excited to share. Then I got into museum work, and I found that people were only excited with sharing if they got to control every aspect of learning. Sharing with parameters is not true sharing. It was disheartening. I realized the field often preferences things to people. Given the capitalistic matrix we live in, I shouldn't have been surprised, but I was. And I was saddened. And I wasn't alone in my disillusionment. Everyone I knew was wondering if they were in this field that was problematic. We went into this work for good, and we were wondering if somehow our idealism had blinded us, if we were on the side of good or not. Then I started wondering, was 2020 the great cataclysm of our field? Now, the standoff wasn't as dramatic as Jonestown or Waco, but those big cult combustions have one thing in common with the museum reckoning of 2020. Stepping back a minute, what is a cult? This is a term which is somewhat problematic, but in this context, a useful learning aid. Cults control their adherents to maintain the power of the group leaders. Outside voices are minimized so they can maintain the status quo. Change is avoided to squash dissent. Ideas are vetted through the cult's thoughts, not critically considered. Much of the premises of our field are buoyed by excluding ourselves from the world. Just like in cults, we work in echo chambers. We vet our plans amongst ourselves. We try to make the best museum experiences without questioning if the museum experience is the best. And as a field, we're in crisis. Why? Because of the system. It trained us, not unlike a cult, to question only enough to keep the system going. The system sucks. The system gives a few people great tax breaks and a few more people the chance to do scholarship. It's a system reinforcing scarcity. And like all hierarchical systems, it means a lot of people get less. Basically, this system has been supported by the idea of special power. It's not a system that has led to universal successes, and attendance is waning. The investment isn't worth it. We must deprogram ourselves. So what does that mean? Deprogramming ourselves means we need to question everything we do. We need to be critical about every aspect of work, and no one person can be the final answer. Sure, you studied that artwork in school, but you can't look the cleaner in the eye. You don't get to be the final word on interpretation. Sure, you understand dinosaurs, and you wrote about it in a science journal, but you don't understand business. You will need to honor someone else's ideas. Sure, you're a fancy person with a European design degree, but you won't go to Jewel or CVS. You can't be the only voice in messaging for our audiences. Deprogramming means not centering all power in singular leaders. It means not giving in to whims of curators. It means honoring those whose knowledge comes from interacting with people, not books. It means standing up to donors. It means looking at our budgets critically and reassessing who gets the money and why. More voices means more success. More shared decision-making means better decisions. More honesty means more trust. It means leaving the cult of the past and moving forward to a better future.
Yeah.
Yes, Seema, you killed it.
Thank you.
So much fire in your talk, Seema. Thank you so much.